Our next lesson here is going to be on dividing, and we're going to be dividing decimal numbers by whole numbers. So a little phrase that might help us to remember what to do here is if there's a decimal in the house, in other words a decimal in the division house, we're going to raise it to the roof. So we're going to put it on the top in our answer, our quotient here, all right? So just a couple of reminders about dividing. We're going to take this digit by digit. We're going to see how many times 5 will divide into our first number, 0, and it'll go in 0 times. So 5 times 0, we do the multiply here then, and then we're going to get the answer to that is 0, and then we're going to subtract. We're going to bring that answer down, and then we bring down the next digit and work with that. Then we divide. 5 into 7 goes 1 time. We put that answer up in the quotient. Then we multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. And then we subtract. And then we bring down. And a way to remember that is, does McDonald's serve burgers? So that cycle is first divide, then multiply, then subtract, then bring down. And we're going to keep doing that until we get an answer of 0. You can see then our answer up here is 15/100ths. All right, let's look at another example. All right, so let's look at this one. A couple of things to note. First of all, the lead number, the first number goes inside the house, and the second number goes outside the house. We're dividing by 6, so the 6 goes out of the house, and we're dividing into 1 and 38/100ths, so that goes in the house. We're going to take that decimal and raise it to the roof, and then we can just forget about it, really. All right, so how many times will 6 go into 1? It goes into 1 0 times. We're going to multiply, and then we'll subtract. Then we bring down. Then we're going to divide 6 into 13. It will go in 2 times. Now we're going to multiply. 6 times 2 is 12. Now we're going to subtract. 13 minus 12 is 1. Then we're going to bring down our 8. Now we're going to divide. 6 goes into 18 3 times. Then we're going to multiply. 6 times 3 is 18. Then we're going to subtract. 18 minus 18 is 0. And so our answer then is 23/100ths. Our next problem here, we're putting our 96/100ths in the house. That's the number we're dividing into. That's the dividend. We took our 8. That's outside the house. That's our divisor. That's the number we're dividing by. We're going to raise that decimal to the roof. And then we're going to forget about it and divide. So 8 divides into 0, 0 times. 0 times 8 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Bring down. 8 divides into 9 once. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1. Bring down. 8 divides into 16 2 times. 8 times 2 is 16. Subtract. Our answer is 0. And so we know we're done. And our answer is 12/100ths. We're going to take 1 and 75/100ths, put that in our house, 5 outside the house to divide into 1 and 75/100ths, raise that decimal point to the roof. 5 can't go into 1 at all, so we put a 0 above the 1. 0 times 5 is 0, so we subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. Bring down the next digit, 7. 5 divides into 17 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. Going to subtract. 17 minus 15 is 2. Bring down our next digit, 5. 5 divides into 25 5 times. 25 minus 25 is 0. Notice, please, that these numbers that we're dividing by go above the last digit of the number we're dividing into. So in other words, for this one, since we're dividing 5 into 25, that 5 that goes in 5 times goes above the last digit of the number we're dividing into. It goes above the 5. All right, so our answer to 1 and 75/100ths divided by 5 gives us 35/100. All right, the last problem we're going to look at here. So I've got my numbers placed. I'm going to raise my decimal point to the roof. 12 divides into 0 0 times. 0 times 12 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Bring down my 3. But 12 still can't divide into 3, so we say it goes in 0 times. 12 times 0 is 0 again. 3 minus 0 is 3. Bring down my next digit, my 1. Now 12 can divide into 31, and I've got to use my estimating skills here. So 12 goes into 31, I would say about twice. 12 times 2 then is 24, and subtract, and sure enough, this number's smaller than the number I'm dividing by, so I know I'm safe. If this number were equal to or bigger than the number I was dividing by, I'd have to bump this digit up a bit, not a bunch, a bit. All right, so 12 times 2 is 24. Doing my subtracting, I get 7. Bring down my 2. 12 divides into 72 exactly 6 times. 12 times 6 is 72. 72 minus 72 is 0. So we're done there. Go on and practice, guys.